All right, welcome everyone to another deep dive. Today we're tackling a region that's, let's just say it's bursting with history and culture.
That's one way to put it.
We're talking Rajasthan, often called the Land of Kings. And we've received a ton of requests from you, our listeners, to really dig deep into this fascinating place. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We've got a whole pile of material here, research, stories, you name it, and we're going to sort through it all together. The goal? Well, to extract the most interesting and important insights about Rajasthan. Think of it as your express ticket to really understanding this incredible region.
I like that. An express ticket. No long lines, straight to the good stuff. And believe me, there's a lot of good stuff.
So where do we even begin with a place like Rajasthan? I mean, we're talking about a history that goes back thousands of years. Our sources indicate evidence of early human settlements, like way back in the Stone Age, tucked away in the Aravalli Ranges. That's pretty mind-blowing, right? What can we glean from that about this region?
Well, it tells us that people have been drawn to this part of the world for a very, very long time. The Aravalli Ranges, those ancient hills, they provided shelter, resources. I mean, they were like the foundation for these early communities. It wasn't just an empty space waiting to be discovered, it was already home.
And speaking of home, it wasn't too long before Rajasthan became intertwined with one of the most sophisticated civilizations of the ancient world, the Indus Valley civilization.
Oh, absolutely. And we're not just talking about a casual connection here. Excavations at a site called Kalibangan show us a major urban center, a thriving part of that incredible Indus Valley network. Think planned streets, impressive structures, even advanced agriculture.
It makes you wonder, right, about the daily lives of the people who live there, the trade routes, the stories they told. It really captures the imagination.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And it shows us how interconnected these early civilizations were. It wasn't just isolated pockets. They were exchanging ideas, goods, culture over vast distances.
Fascinating. And from these very early beginnings, the story of Rajasthan continues to unfold, moving into the Vedic period where we see the emergence of early political entities.
These Janapadas, as they were known.
Right, the Janapadas. And some of these names might sound familiar, especially if you're into Indian epics. Matsya, Surasena, they pop up in texts like the Mahabharata.
Exactly. And that connection to the Mahabharata, especially the story of the Matsya kingdom and its king, Virata, who allied with the Pandavas, well, it really weaves Rajasthan into the heart of Indian cultural history, right? Yeah. It's not just a place on a map. It's part of these foundational narratives.
It's amazing how these ancient stories can still resonate with us today. And it wasn't just about political shifts during this time. We also see a blossoming of religious thought, with Buddhism and Jainism finding fertile ground in Rajasthan.
And that legacy is still visible today, especially when you look at the stunning architecture of that era.
Like the Dilwara temples, right?
Right.
Those intricate marble carvings are incredible.
Oh, they're absolutely breathtaking. And when you walk through those spaces, you can almost feel the presence of history, the devotion, the artistry. It's a tangible link to that rich spiritual past.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground already, but let's fast forward a bit. We're entering what's often called medieval Rajasthan, roughly from 1000 CE to 1700 CE. And this is where we encounter those legendary Rajput clans.
Ah, the Rajputs.
The Sisodias of Mewar, the Rathoras of Marwar, the Kachwahas of Amber. These warrior clans really come to define this era. They're fierce, they're independent, and they leave their mark on the landscape, literally.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you can't talk about the Rajputs without talking about those incredible fortresses.
Like Chittorgarh, Kumbhalgarh, these massive, imposing structures perched on hilltops. testaments to their power and determination to defend their land.
They weren't messing around, that's for sure. And those forts weren't just about military strategy. They were also symbols, statements. They're saying, hey, we're here, we're strong, and we're not going anywhere.
I mean, it makes sense, right? Especially when you consider the context. The Delhi Sultanate was expanding. And then came the Mughal Empire, this massive force sweeping across the subcontinent. Rajasthan was right in the path of these empires. So how did these Rajput clans navigate this new reality? I mean, was it just constant warfare?
Well, it was definitely a time of great upheaval, a real test of their strength and adaptability. And you're right, it wasn't always about all-out war. Sometimes it was about strategic alliances, playing the political game.
Playing the game, huh? So who are some of the major players? I mean, we have to talk about Maharana Pratap, right? He's practically a legend.
Oh, Maharana Pratap of Mewar. He's definitely a pivotal figure. His resistance against the Mughals, culminating in that epic battle of Haulagati in 1576, it's a story that's been told and retold for centuries.
And even though he didn't win that battle, it's still considered a symbol of Rajput valor, their unwavering spirit.
Exactly. It's about courage, about standing up for what you believe in, even when the odds are stacked against you. It's a powerful narrative that still resonates deeply in Rajasthan.
It's interesting, though, that our sources emphasize that even under Mughal influence, many Rajput states managed to retain a good deal of autonomy. It wasn't just about submission, it was about negotiation, about finding ways to preserve their own identity and power.
It was. And that speaks to their political savvy, their ability to adapt and survive in a changing landscape. They were playing a long game, and they played it well.
So we see this fascinating mix of resistance and alliance, and it really shapes the political and cultural landscape of Rajasthan.
You see it in figures like Raja Man Singh of Amber, who chose to align with the Mughals. It wasn't always a black and white situation. Different rulers had different strategies, different goals, and that's reflected in the history of the region.
And it wasn't all about politics and battles, was it? This era also saw a flourishing of the arts, architecture, and literature. We talked about the forts, but there's so much more. I mean, the palaces, the havelas, the intricate details, the vibrant colors. It's just stunning.
It is. I mean, think about those incredible structures like the Amber Fort, Jaisalmer Fort, the city palace of Udaipur. They're not just buildings, they're works of art. They tell stories, they reflect the wealth and power of the rulers, but also their artistic sensibilities, their love of beauty.
And when you look closely, you see this incredible fusion of styles, this blending of Rajput and Mughal influences, creating something truly unique. It wasn't just about imitation, it was about innovation.
Right. It's a reminder that cultures are always interacting, influencing each other, evolving. And Rajasthan is a perfect example of that.
All right, let's keep moving through history. We're entering the British period now, and Rajasthan takes on a new identity, a collection of princely states under British suzerainty. What did that mean for the region and its rulers?
Well, it was a complex arrangement. The princely states retained some internal autonomy, meaning they still had control over their own affairs to a certain extent. But they were also bound to the British crown. They had to play by their rules.
So it was like a balancing act, trying to maintain their own traditions and power while navigating this new power dynamic.
Exactly. And it wasn't always easy. There were tensions, there were rebellions, there's a constant push and pull between those who wanted to maintain the status quo and those who yearned for complete independence.
And speaking of independence, even under British rule, the desire for freedom continued to burn bright, and many individuals from Rajasthan played a crucial role in India's struggle for independence.
Absolutely. They recognized that their destiny was intertwined with the destiny of the nation, and they contributed their voices, their energy, their courage to the fight for a free India.
And then came that pivotal year, 1947, India's independence. Our sources detail how the princely states of Rajasthan were integrated into the newly formed Indian Union, a massive undertaking led by Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. It must have been a monumental task, bring together all those different entities.
It was. It required immense diplomacy, political skill, a real vision for a unified India. And Patel, he was the right man for the job. He managed to convince these rulers to give up their sovereignty to become part of something bigger.
And that ultimately led to the official formation of the state of Rajasthan as we know it today in 1956, with Jaipur as its capital.
It did. And since then, Rajasthan has really come into its own. It's a state that's proud of its past, but also looking towards the future, developing its economy, infrastructure, really making its mark on modern India.
So we've covered the historical journey, but now let's dive into what makes Rajasthan so culturally unique and vibrant. And one of the first things that jumps out is the incredible diversity of its languages and literature.
Oh, it's a linguistic tapestry. You've got Marwari, Mewari, Dundari, Shekhawati, all these different dialects that reflect the rich history and regional identities within the state. And then you have the literature, the ancient folk tales, the heroic ballads, the poetry passed down through generations, keeping those traditions alive.
And then there's the art and architecture. We've already touched on the forts and palaces, but there's just so much to explore. The avelis, those elaborately painted merchant homes, the intricate marble carvings of the Mount Abu temples, the miniature paintings, the blue pottery, the stone carvings. It's an absolute feast for the senses.
It is. It's like every corner you turn, there's something new to discover, some detail that catches your eye, some story waiting to be told. And each art form has its own unique character, its own history, its own connection to the people and the land.
And then, of course, you have the music and dance.
Ah, the music and dance.
Those swirling skirts of the Ghumar, the mesmerizing movements of the Kabylia dancers, the captivating puppetry of the Kathputli tradition, and those instruments, the dol, the kamayacha, the sarangi, each one adding its own unique voice to the soundscape.
The music and dance of Rajasthan are so deeply intertwined with its cultural fabric. It's not just entertainment, it's expression, it's storytelling, it's a way of life.
And speaking of a way of life, the festivals and traditions of Rajasthan are just as vibrant and colorful. Diwali, Holi, Tej, Gangwar, these celebrations fill the calendar with joy, color, and a deep sense of community. And then you have those iconic events that draw visitors from all over the world.
Like the Pushkar Camel Fair, right? Imagine thousands of camels, traders, pilgrims, all converging on this small town, creating a spectacle unlike anything else.
It's incredible, isn't it? And then there's the Desert Festival, celebrating the beauty and resilience of life in the Thar Desert. It's a reminder that Rajasthan is a land of contrasts, of arid landscapes and vibrant cultures.
Absolutely. And we can't forget about the food, right?
Oh, the food. We can't talk about Rajasthan without mentioning its unique and flavorful cuisine.
Dal bati churma, lal mas, gaywar, all these dishes that have evolved over centuries, adapting to the climate, utilizing local ingredients, bursting with spices and flavor. It's a culinary adventure waiting to be had.
So let's say our listener is inspired, wants to experience Rajasthan firsthand. Where should they go? What are some of the must-see cities and sites?
Oh, there's so much to choose from.
Let's start with the big ones, shall we? Jaipur, the pink city, Udaipur, the city of lakes, Jaipur, the blue city, Jayalmer, the golden city. Each one has its own distinct personality, its own stories to tell.
Jaipur, with its grand palaces and the Hal Mahal, that iconic palace of the winds. Udaipur, with its romantic lake setting and the stunning city palace. Jodhpur, dominated by the massive Mehrangarh fort, a testament to Rajput military might. And Jaisalmer, that magical city rising from the desert, a living fort, a UNESCO World Heritage Site.
It's amazing how those nicknames really capture the essence of each city, isn't it? And beyond these major urban centers, there's so much more to explore.
Oh yeah, you could spend a lifetime in Rajasthan and still not see it all.
Chittorgarh, with its legendary fort, a symbol of Rajput valor and sacrifice. Ranthambore National Park, a haven for wildlife, home to the majestic Bengal tiger. Mount Abu, a cool retreat in the Aravalli Hills, offering breathtaking views. Bikaner, with its impressive Junagarh Fort. It's a land of endless discovery.
It really is. And that's what makes Rajasthan so special, that mix of history, culture, natural beauty. It's a place that stays with you long after you've left.
So we've covered a lot of ground, from the ancient origins of Rajasthan to its modern-day dynamism. We've talked about its warrior kings, its magnificent architecture, its vibrant traditions, its evolving economy. It's a story that continues to unfold, a tapestry that's constantly being woven.
It is. As we wrap up this deep dive, I think the question that lingers is this. How has Rajasthan managed to preserve its unique identity, its cultural richness, in the face of so much change, so much upheaval? How has it managed to blend tradition and modernity so seamlessly?
It's a question worth pondering, isn't it? And I think the answer lies in the spirit of its people, their resilience, their adaptability, their deep connection to their land and their heritage. It's a story of survival, of evolution, of enduring beauty. And on that note, we'll leave you to explore further, to uncover the magic of Rajasthan for yourselves.
Until next time.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.